This is a Headgum podcast.
Hey bitch, what is your whole deal? Hey bitch, just tell us how you feel. You wished for a sign from above. Well, here's a podcast about boy sex, fucking, dating, and love. Seek treatment if you're boring as fuck. Seek treatment if you're unlucky in love. Seek treatment if you just can't take a hint. Well, seek treatment with Kat and Pat.
Hey!
It's Cactus. It's Mrs. Cactus. Prickle,
And
prickle,
it-
prickle.
And it is the patriarchy, and this is Secret,
A podcast about boys,
sex,
fucking, dating, and
dating,
love.
and love.
Fuck the patriarchy keychain on the ground. You were always
Yes,
skipping
yeah,
town. You were always
Let's do it
skipping
next
town.
time.
Wait. What's going on?
I don't know.
Oh, it's playing.
Hey.
Oh, it's playing my audio recording. Okay, I'm starting a new one. Oops, sorry. Okay, sorry.
Oops, I started again.
Oops, I sharded again.
No, stop.
Oh, I hate shart humor.
I hate fart and shart. You guys, we have an amazing guest. Thank God we have a good guest today because I'm in a bizarro headspace.
Me too, for no reason.
Where are you and how was your New York trip ever since I saw you?
It was so hectic. It was so back to back. You two are some of the only two. So let's bring our guest in.
Okay, open your ears.
Ears for Omar Torres.
Open your ears for Omar Torres. Oh, sorry. How's
Wait,
that?
am I in? Can I talk?
Please talk. How are you, Angelina Jolie?
I'm so excited. I mean, this is no secret. I've been a fan for years now. Y'all have gotten me through some terrible moments in my own life. So this is like such an honor and privilege to be here. I think the two of you are so talented and funny and charming. So I'm just like so honored to be here.
How could you have difficult moments in your life as a therapist?
That's
not
so
me.
bearing the lead. Omar's a professional therapist. He has no problems and he knows everything.
And that's why I'm here. I was telling Catherine earlier, Pat, that I basically like bullied you into letting me be on your podcast.
No.
We were in Westville and Pat's like, yeah, I'll have a chicken and broccoli. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be on your podcast. Like, no, that's
no,
sure.
it's long overdue. You were one of our first like superstars from the live event. I'll never forget. I will
never. Me and Daniel, shout out Daniel Sungli.
Yeah.
I will never forget that. That was a really fun story.
It was so beautiful.
Wait, what was I going to say? We went to Westville because I was being like a little bit.
Which location?
East, because I was staying at the public hotel, which was absolute heaven. Like,
yeah.
I felt.
And there was like an NFL star
if you're gonna
there.
stay at the public hotel, what you need to know is the entrance to the hotel every night will be absolutely swarmed with 200 to 4,000 girls in bandage dresses will be like walking around the like entrance of it.
Where are they going? Because I've been in there. Upstairs.
And what was I going to say? But you know what? Do you know I'm ending my cut because a person that I'm having sex with said that he felt I was starving myself, and so luckily, like,
yeah, I've been saying that for years, but I'm just didn't listen.
Only sexual partners have the power to free me from my disorder.
Oh my god, that's so healthy.
Only they hold
Omar,
old as time.
New segment.
Only they hold the key.
New segment. Omar, is that good?
I'm honestly, my approach is like whatever works. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I just
really,
like,
that's your medical expertise. Whatever. Works.
Usually it's like whatever works. I remember years ago. This was like early on in my career. I think I was maybe interning at the time at a mental health clinic, and this one client I had straight up was like, the only reason why I haven't hurt myself is because of my cat. My cat's the only reason why I do not harm myself. And I'm like, great, we'll work with that. Like, you don't need, and most people think, oh, you have so much to live, like to like go on and on about all these wonderful things. And I'm like, if it's just your cat that's keeping you tethered to this plane, then I'll work with the cat. That's great. So yeah.
I have a new term in my head that I'm like working out in a lab, and it's called a sim tickle moment. and it's when when you're having a social interaction with someone and it like has been going well, but then you have one interaction with someone where it's like this took away. This was a negative interaction for them. Like our friendship has lowered because of this interaction, and it's like
Sim
when you're playing
tickle.
Sims and
Wendy
you for no
tickle.
reason have your Sim tickle another Sim, and it's like the other person hates it, and they're like, now we're not friends anymore, and it's like that. I worry that I just had a Sim tickle moment
With who?
with what I was talking about just before we does it look like
No.
I care too
With
much about these stupid ethereal things? Do you know what I mean?
No,
These
like
I
the
think
man you're
ethereal-
having sex with?
Sure, yeah.
no,
But
Pat, it's funny what you sent.
it's funny what I said.
Oh, yeah. No, that was funny.
Because the phrasing is crazy. So it's just like
Yeah, but if
haha.
you're not of our world and someone sends you that interview, are you like, oh, okay, who cares? You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
I
he
don't care.
cares. He was eating it up. He's eating it up. He also gets. He sounds like he's buying in. He's bought.
I
He's
don't know
soaking
that
up what
he's
you're spilling. He's soaking up what you're spilling.
He's having what I want to call a new phrase I'm workshopping, a big spoon moment, in that he's eating it up. He's big wooden spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so have you been toiling over whether or not you should have sent that since you sent it?
A little.
Yeah, I can see
Okay.
Pat's not really here. Let's bring him back.
I
in.
am quite here. I am quite here. I am quite here.
You're kind of like copying my mode of being like on a not at a desk, kind of on a slant. Where are you sitting right now?
What I found is that when I do this in my bedroom, I think the audio is like marginally better. So like in
Mm.
that way, I've like decided, but I don't like the angle of my face. So should I just move to the table and trust that the audio will be a-okay?
No, you look fine. I just couldn't tell if you were like holding things in a way that was making you not leave us. Now, Omar, you're coming to us live from Brooklyn, New York. How are you feeling today? What's going on?
I'm feeling great. I was really nervous to be
Oh,
here, but I'm
please.
feeling
No.
much
Oh,
better. I'm feeling
please.
much better now. It's like one of those things where I was like getting ready, setting everything up, and then suddenly I was like, wait, who was I?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Wait, who do I want to be? And suddenly existential crisis, but I'm good. I'm back. I'm back. I think I figured it out. But like you suddenly like your mind draws a blank even with like the simplest questions. So it's just one of those instances where you're like, relax, take it easy. Pat and Cat will take care of you.
100p. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4.
Exactly.
Wait, what do you mean it seems like I'm not here?
You're here now. Just like I think it was because your audio started playing and then you were like looking around.
Course.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're here. Be here now.
Well, okay. What is the like German word for this? When like you're like in this, and I'm experiencing this. Like I'm back at work in Hacks, which I'm so grateful for and is so much fun. But what is the German word for like how in modern times, your texts do come to your computer, so you have the little like text bubble like icon at the bottom of on your big line of icons at the bottom. And the Hall of Icons, which is the Hall of Icons, which is the little strip at the bottom of your thing. And so one of them is a text thing. And so for me, I struggle to open texts a lot. So I have 111 unopened texts. And like some of them I just can't get back to. Like I don't know. Like 111 is my baseline. That means 0 for me. So if I look down and see 111, that means I have no new texts.
Oh my God.
But then like when you're engaging, when you're pitching on Ava Deborah storylines, when you're asking Omar Torres who he is, who he wants to be, you do then see down when it goes up to 112 or when it doesn't go up to 112. And so when you have sent a text that you're perhaps unsure of and you're looking and you're just seeing that 111, you're seeing that 111, you're seeing that 111, you're like, wow, like I've lost it.
There's something beautiful about how for you 0 is 111. That's like an angel number. That's really special.
And that 112 is 1.
112 is 1.
112 is 1.
And
wow.
that is girl math.
112 is the loneliest number there ever was.
You are the 112 for me.
Can I tell you, you are the.
Right.
I want to be a 112. Let me ask you this. It would have been fun if you would have been 112. Let me ask you this. Pat, do you know that you can, because mine actually has been acting up. By the way, if you guys are listening and you know how to fix this, mine used to download like computer to phone text immediately. Now it's like, it's completely off. So it drives, I'm actually at 118. So That's my
Wow.
it's a
Text
That's
mess.
your
messages?
baseline.
Because they're not loading as they are on my phone. So I need to figure. So I'm just deleting it from my.
Oh,
So what I was gonna say, Beth, is you can take it out of the Hall of Icons. You can kick it out of the Hall of Icons, so you don't have to look at it.
Yeah, but of course I like it being in the Hall of Icons. But I do think I'm probably done for the day with getting something in. Do you know what I mean?
What? Yeah. What time is it there?
It's only 10:20, but like
Oh,
I woke up and had something in, and then and kind of went back and forth, and then I sent
something
that big, and then I
in.
had
What
my,
do you mean?
like a text?
so I call it when
Oh
someone.
my God! When you had something in, like you sent a text to
So
someone.
when you have a crush and like you get any contact, that's called getting something in. And so it's like so it could be any kind of, even like a story view could be getting something in for some
Of
people.
course.
And like so like today I woke up, got something in right off the bat, which
Oh
was
my
great.
God! You opened with something in.
But I don't know that like because of the rhythm of it all, like I think that sometimes you can feel when it's like that's what I'll get in today and that's what I'll get in today, and I probably won't be getting anything
Really
in. I think,
interesting.
yeah,
You can test the limits of that. Maybe
I could send something in, but I would
you could
always,
send something in.
but of course you'd always rather get something in than send something in.
That's the rub, isn't it?
That is the rubber dub dub. That's so
Yep.
beautiful. Now, Omar, since you brought it up earlier, I would love to just dive headfirst in the pool of life with you. Who were you? Who are you? And who do you want to be?
I've heard that question asked so many times.
Oh,
I just want to like take this moment and this is like
mm,
so cool that now I get to answer that
now you
question.
get to get.
Now I yeah. So I was a uh, painfully shy little gay boy. That's like
Really?
we'll start right there. Yeah. At like 5, I knew I was like, fuck. I think I like
Oh.
boys.
Really? Are you
Yeah, like
serious?
really, really young. Yeah.
And where'd you grow up?
Washington Heights, New York,
Okay.
as a young kid. And then once my younger sister was born, we moved to New Jersey. We couldn't all fit
Classic.
in the apartment. Yeah, my parents wanted like a yard and all that stuff.
They give our little gay
So
son a yard. Give our shy gay son
yeah,
a yard.
yeah.
Is your sister heterosexual?
She sure
Do you
is,
feel
and she
comfortable
has
saying?
a boyfriend of like a gajillion years. I think they
Mm,
just celebrated their like 12th anniversary
how
or something.
French.
New
They met.
New segment. Does your straight sister not believe in the institution of marriage?
New segment. How
Yeah,
French is your straight sister?
she could not care less. Yeah, she's really like, I don't really care about that. So yeah, I don't know if
Wow.
they'll. Yeah,
So she
she's
found her 112.
she
Yeah.
found her 112. Yeah, they met in high school.
Oh my
Interestingly
god.
enough, yeah.
It's
And
interesting. When someone meets someone in high school, I'm like, can it be real? You know what I mean? If you live, unless you live in like, truly like the town where Reese Witherspoon was from in Sweet Home Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
like, can a high school sweetheart really be in game? Your sister's asking the question.
and she's answering yes. I mean, it's one of those things too where I usually agree. I'm like, high school relationships, I mean, how significant can they be?
Mm-hmm.
But he's like stuck around, and they've like grown up together and like evolved together, and I really like him. So I'm like, okay, I guess like she figured it out. So
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
That's beautiful.
it's really lovely. But yeah, so painfully shy. I was so shy that when I moved to New Jersey and started school there, the town knew that there were 2 new students coming into town. That was like big news.
Oh my
And
god, yeah.
everyone knew one was coming from New York and one was a foreign student who didn't speak English, coming from another country. For the first 3 months, everyone thought I was the foreign student that didn't speak English,
Oh,
Oh
because
my
you
because
were
I
god.
so
would not, because
quiet.
I was so quiet. And the other student was like, "Papidi papa," like jumping around and playing and chatting and all that
Oh,
stuff. So everyone just assumed, oh, he must be the one from the other country.
Oh
Because
my
I
god,
would just like,
you swapped identities.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It was like face off. But yeah, so I was basically just like trying to remain as invisible as possible. That was like my
oh,
way of
Yeah.
coping with being gay.
Being new, also just new kid coming in a grade is so like so you're so behind the eight ball. Like, I just remember, like, in third grade, a girl, Lisa, came in,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, she just never could get herself out of the hole all the way through eighth grade. All the way through eighth grade, she just always, like,
She was
she
the new
couldn't.
girl till 8th
And
grade.
I'll always remember this moment in, like, maybe fourth grade. Like, we were in, like, religion, and, like, I don't know, like, they were talking about the good news, which is, like, always what they were talking about. And to this day, I don't even know what that meant, but it was, like, the
Oh.
good news. And, like, and Lisa raised her hand and was like, and asked this, like, true question, which was like, it's always talking about the good news. Like, what is the good news? Like, really a great question. And then everyone was like, Lisa, like, why would you ask that? Like, why would you ask that?
Oh my
The
god.
teacher was like, stop it. Oh my god, you people won't let her get away with anything.
Oh, I'm glad
And
you
the teacher,
called.
like, broke down, and we were like, no, that's a stupid question. Like,
Oh
I
my
think the
god.
good news is just that, like, Jesus
It's coming.
exists.
And
Yeah,
he's
no,
coming
he is
again.
here.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he's
I think
coming to
that is the
town.
good news.
That he's coming back, and then he's like,
And
that he was here.
this
coming
time
back.
it's personal.
Yeah.
Oh, Lisa.
I know.
So I lucked out. I did get myself out of the hole.
Oh, good
just
job.
FYI.
That's
I
amazing.
have to really, really have to give it up for all the girls in high school, especially the popular girls. They, like,
I got
took
you,
me under their
sweetie.
wing.
I got you, girl.
100%, 100%. And and I was just, like, friends with, like, all the girls, and some of the guys that could not catch on what was going on would, like, come up to me and be like, Omar, like, all the girls love you, bro. They love you, bro. Like, what's your secret? What's your secret? And in my head, I'm like, suck dick, dude. That's the secret. You gotta. But I was like, I don't know. But yeah, they, like, saved my high school
Aw.
experience for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was, like, the time, like, similar in high school is, like, when you were friends with a lot of girls, like, the best to go for would be who'll be like, oh, you're so pimping. You're
yeah.
so pimping. Pimping was
Yeah.
huge in the aughts, like, to be like pimping.
My high school, my senior prom picture is with me and all my girlfriends, and the photographer was like pimping. He kept
Yeah.
saying, well, "He's a pimp. This guy's
Oh
a
my
pimp."
God.
He's
Yeah,
a
it
pimp.
was
And I'm like,
huge.
sure.
Pimp was huge.
You're like, whatever you want to say, sweetie.
It was aspirational. Yeah. So yeah, that was that's how it started out. But then, like, by sophomore year of high school is when I realized, like, oh, people like me actually,
Aw.
and I think, like, I can do this. And then I, like, really came into my own, so to speak, at that age, and I just, like, felt way more confident.
Yeah.
Not confident enough to come out, but confident enough to,
Right.
like, take up space, like, start taking up space, and, like, being
Confident enough,
invited to parties and stuff.
confident enough to come into your own, but not confident enough to come out as gay. How's that?
Yeah.
That's
I
really
mean,
beautiful.
that's a really good question. We're all just walking contradictions.
That's
aren't
Yeah.
so
we?
real.
Yeah.
And what were you into in high school? Were you, like, sporty? Were you
Oh my
theater? Were you, like,
God,
what was your
no.
vibe?
So while I felt confident socially, I was still very much trying to avoid attention, like too much attention. So the idea of sports to me was the antithesis of that. Like, that is, you're not invisible in sports. Like, everyone's watching you do something and perform
Mm.
something. And I hated the idea of that. So I was, like, video game nerdy, Buffy 24/7. That was my life. And yeah, that's pretty much
What video
it.
game did you
Unless
play?
I was a huge, like, Final Fantasy,
Oh, I
like,
never did
RPG
What
that.
is that?
nerd. It's
Yeah, I ultimately don't get
we
what
don't
that
even
is.
have to get into it. it's
But
it's
it's
referred to as a role playing game, and you're just, like, fighting monsters and using magic,
Oh,
and
that's cute.
like, it's fun. It's
On
it's a
the
fun
on the
time.
PC? On the PC or the Mac?
PlayStation. I was a
Well,
PlayStation girly.
that's the thing when it comes to, like, first of all, PlayStation, like, I'll never forget, like, as a Nintendo fan, like, when PlayStation came out and they were like, no, you actually use CDs for this one. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Like, how did that work? And because I had so many little siblings, we, like, couldn't, like, we got a PlayStation once, and it was like, they would get too scratched, like because we had too many babies like running around scratching everything. But like, so that's why we couldn't be a PlayStation family. But
Many
I could
babies.
also, there just never like a video game in that time on the computer. It just never worked. And I remember like one time I got this Tarzan, like the Disney movie Tarzan video game, and like it just takes too long to load at the end of the
It would
day.
take so long
Like
to
you
load.
can't even do shit on it.
I would like.
I wasn't.
I remember destroying my family's computer by downloading Sims expansion packs. My mom's like,
Yeah.
"You're breaking the computer," and I'm like, "I need hot date. I need hot date."
I need downtown. I need to meet Christina Aguilera. The worst. Everyone say the worst. Everyone say the worst Sims expansion pack on 3. 3 pets.
Pets.
Unleashed.
I didn't
And
play
those-
Sims.
because the pets.
I
didn't-
wasn't a Sims person. Every time you guys talk about it, I feel like I'm a kid outside of a screen door and
Oh,
seeing you guys play
no.
outside, and I'm like, no, let me in. I
You should
can't.
play it now, late in life.
Whoa.
Late in life.
Is it late in life?
No offense.
Yeah, I know.
Drag
I'm like,
him. Not that you're
darn.
late in your life.
But when it comes to Sims, playing it after the age of 12 is late in life.
I know.
I suppose that's true, and I am 40 now. Thank
Oh my God,
you.
how does
I
it
just
feel?
turned 40.
You look unbelievable.
Thank you. It snuck up on me, to be honest. So, like, aging historically was never. I actually loved getting older, especially in my 30s. I was like, finally, I felt so much more like financial freedom and stability.
Mhm.
And I started my own practice, and that was great. And then 40s sort of like knocked me on my ass a little bit, I have to admit. I feel much better now, but for like the first month after I turned 40, I
Oh.
was like really going through something
In what way?
heavy.
Well, if
that's
you
not-
feel safe,
I'm-
if you feel safe, sure.
Yeah,
I
I'm actually still like trying to figure that out. So usually when I'm sad or upset, I know exactly why. And then I know like, okay, Omar, these are the things you need to do in order to like get over this breakup. These are the things you need to do in order to recover from the bad news you got. Like, and I was I'm like usually pretty good at that. This was the first time that I felt this like heaviness, and I had no idea why,
Oh,
and I couldn't place it, and I still am not 100% sure what happened. My boyfriend Mike, shout out Mike.
hey, Mike.
Hey, man.
He has a theory that the birthday party, the trip,
Right, which I was supposed to go on.
you were supposed to go on. Thank you for sending your
Thinking
portion of
about-
the boat.
I really
Of the boat.
appreciate it. And Catherine
I
was with me when I
appreciate it.
famously said the sentence, we were flying to Seattle, and I was on the text chain for the trip. And I didn't have any of the numbers except for like you and Daniel. I was lying on the floor, and there's some unknown number like referred to like his 40th birthday.
His
trip.
40th,
I said
yeah.
to Catherine, it was me and
Yeah.
Catherine were having a conversation where we were both like saying things at each other, like but having our own conversations. Like,
Kind of like
just
how the
having
podcast is.
kind of parallel conversations on the floor of LAX. And then I said,
Oh,
and I
right.
said, and then out of nowhere I just said, oh, someone's gonna be 40 on the trip.
Yeah, they were huge pains in my ass, that thread. So, but yeah, so I'm usually so his theory was that the birthday trip, I was surrounded by, I know this is like going to be so eye rolling, but that I was given so much love on that trip
Mhm.
that coming back home was a bit of a come down.
Oh, definitely.
And yeah, it felt, I'm very much on the other side of it, but I'm still trying to figure out like what the hell that was. And I'm sort of in this space now where I'm like, what is next? And I'm like, not too sure what that is, because things right now feel lovely. Like the practice is great. Friends and family are great. But
Well,
this
you know
is the
what's
first time.
next?
Yeah. What is next?
No offense to your sister, but ding dong, ding dong.
Do you want to get ding donged?
I was.
Do you want the bells to chime?
Or the lost cultures is calling.
Oh, right.
I was like, I knew that sounded familiar.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, do you want the bells to chime, chime, chime?
I'm of the mindset that if Mike wants to, I will. I don't feel strongly one way or the other.
Oh, really?
Although, to be honest, to get on his insurance would be so nice because I pay for my own right now, and it's absolutely insane. So getting married to get on his insurance would be really great.
What does Mike
Yes.
do? And how'd you meet?
He's a product manager, and we met at a WeWork gay happy hour event.
Love
Wow.
it.
Yeah. So my
He
approach
said,
to
manage my
dating,
project, baby.
please. Yeah.
How long you been together?
So this is round 2.
Of your,
Round 2 of so when
you
we
broke.
first, yeah.
You
So the first
broke.
time we
I
met,
didn't know you broke.
And are you
so the
beautiful in the
first,
broken places?
and yeah,
Kitsugi? Are you
and
kitsugi with it?
yeah, that's the word. Yeah, I'm always trying to remember what that is. Like, you know, when you fill in the cracks with gold, and my clients are like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, forget it. But yeah, we met like 4 years ago at a We Were Gay happy hour event. And my approach to dating is usually if I see someone, I'm like,
I say someone.
it's game.
Yeah.
See someone, say someone.
Yeah, so I just sort of like weaseled my way over to him and started like interjecting myself in his like group conversation and just trying to assess for like what's his vibe. And then by the end, I asked him for his number, and he said, "Why?" And I was
Oh,
like,
Oh my
and I was like,
God, Mike.
because I want to take you out on a date. And
so
he's like,
sweet.
oh, he had no idea I was hitting on him.
Hey, well,
He
here's
had
the question. What's wrong with
no
him?
clue.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, so
News segment, what's wrong with your
What's
partner?
wrong with Mike?
what's wrong with Mike?
So that was only like 3 months, and then we reconnected like 3 years ago. He was dog sitting in my neighborhood,
Wow.
and that's how we reconnected. And it started out just sleeping together. We were just hooking up, and that was that. And then we started spending more time together, and then next thing you know, I was developing feelings for him. And then I tried to end things with him because
Why?
so I have a tendency to, or I had a tendency to try and like force a relationship where it didn't need to be forced. And so I thought to myself, Omar, you need to break the cycle. Like, stop trying to make a relationship happen when this is supposed to be casual. So
Mm.
I thought I was like
Couple.
doing the smart thing.
You were
I
knee
thought
deep in the passenger, and he was like, "I'm knee deep in the passenger seat, and you're eating
Eating
me
me
out. Is
out."
it casual? Is it casual now? 2 weeks, and your mom invites me to her house in Long Beach.
Is it
casual now?
I know that you tell your friends.
But it's
Casual.
casual. Is it casual?
Casual now then. Right. Knee deep in the passenger seat.
in the
So
passenger
Mike's knee
seat.
deep in the passenger seat. You're eating him
That's the
out.
best
and
song ever.
He's wondering, is it casual now? Because I can't help but notice that I'm knee
Fucked
deep
you
in
in
the
the
passenger seat.
bathroom.
And
When we
you're
went to
eating me
dinner.
out.
Your
and
parents
you're-
at the table.
And you're saying it's casual, and you're breaking a cycle. Yet I'm knee deep in the passenger seat. You're eating me out. So like, make it make sense. Mike's saying make it make sense.
Oh, that poor guy. Yeah. But so I tried to break up with him, and he said no, and we've been together ever since.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good approach to getting dumped, to saying no.
Yeah, that's the life hack. And so we started dating. We dated for 8 months before becoming boyfriends. We were like, we're gonna take this slow.
Yeah.
And again, in the past I have a tendency of like romanticizing partners
Mhm.
and like
Yeah.
dating the like idealized version of them, not
Yeah.
them. So I made sure to like really take my time to get to know him and to make sure I wasn't making up this version of him in my mind and dating that version.
Now, let me ask you this: as a licensed therapist, what advice would you give to people who are dating right now?
To really consider your mindset and attitude whenever you approach dating or whenever you're like occupying a space. I think I notice a lot of folks date rather thoughtlessly.
Ooh.
They think like they'll walk in thinking, I want to meet someone nice and kind and funny and all that stuff. Like, sure. But there's also like other things you want to be mindful of. Like, are they asking you questions? What's your experience like
Good
when you're
one.
with them? But yeah, so usually a client will come in, they'll talk about a date, and they'll say, they were so funny and they were so nice, and I hope they like me. And so I usually have to be like, well,
Right.
how did you experience them? Like, were you having fun? Were you laughing? Were
Amazing.
you intellectually stimulated? Like,
Yeah.
what was it like being around them? and
good.
focusing it back onto them. And I feel like folks focus so much on the other person having a good time, which is obviously
Yeah.
it comes from like a lovely place, but they like forget that they're also that their experience is also just as important, if not more important.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
So
this. What if you're a girl? I have a lot of beautiful single friends in New York City, straight women, and all the men are nightmarish. What do you tell clients who are just like can't fucking meet someone and they feel crazy? They're like, I have everything going for me. Like, what do I do?
So one first things first, I have 2 straight male clients, and I'm just telling all your straight female listeners, I'm doing my best to like
Thank
help
you.
them,
Thank
like
you.
to help
Help them
them,
help you.
help them along. But honestly, cultivate the relationships that are really meaningful to you now, because when the focus is solely on, oh, like these men, they're terrible, they're
Mhm.
awful, like why can't I find somebody, it just like puts you in this like scarcity mindset.
Mhm.
And I mean, you really sort of have to like ask yourself like, okay, dating is really challenging, it sucks, so what do I do in the meantime?
Yeah.
So in the meantime, like, okay, this is difficult, so in the meantime, I'm going to spend time with people that I love. I'm
Yes.
going to make sure that I'm like taking care of myself and that blah, blah, blah. Like all the things that you want to do, that I'm like
Mm.
going for that promotion at work or whatever. Because I don't know, there's no like decision tree. There's no like, if you follow these 3 rules, then you'll find a partner. It's different for everybody. I mean, I met Mike when I was
At a gay
was
WeWork event.
at a gay WeWork event in my mid 30s.
And that's not, and that's actually not everyone's story.
And that's not
Not everyone. You don't
my,
have to meet. So your advice would be you don't have to meet at a gay WeWork event.
I mean, it's gay WeWork event or bust. is
Yeah,
actually what
that's
I'm
what you
saying.
tell us.
Well, I have a new strategy towards like okay, so it's like there's this moment that I keep having where I see, you know, obviously when you're single, you're like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to meet someone? Wouldn't it be fun to meet someone? Wouldn't it be fun to be in something? But then, and you do like your head goes to that place. But I keep having these moments where like the other day I was driving in my car and I saw my friend and his boyfriend walking on the sidewalk. And then another day I was driving a car and I saw this girl and her girlfriend walking on a sidewalk. There is something about when you are in that place and you see a long-term couple walking down the sidewalk where you're just like, oh God, right? Like I don't need that at all. Like oh my God, I actually know the hell they're in walking down a sidewalk together.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think that's also
Okay, I thought you were going somewhere totally different with
no.
that.
No,
One of my
like a
darkest
long-term-
memories is walking down Meeker Avenue with my ex and being like, "What are we doing?"
No, it's like you see like two long-term partners walking down the sidewalk. It's like, oh God, like it hurts to see. You hate to see it.
Oh no, Mike and I walk down sidewalks so much, holding hands even. So my apologies.
The lesbian couple I saw walking down the sidewalk.
Catherine's
I was like,
pissed.
one of
No,
them
I'm
was
just
like,
like,
they're walking their dog. The dog's peeing. One of them's holding loose. They're looking at each other with such like disdain, just like having this. It's one of those things where it's not a fight, but neither of them are finding any joy in like the company of one
Yeah.
another, and it's like, yeah.
I also tend to find when it comes to dating, that's why like therapy and good friends is helpful. Folks will come in and they'll say like, I really want to meet a partner. And I'm like, great. So like, talk to me about how you date. What's your dating style? And I can almost always find decisions that they're making that I'm like, that is not a good decision to
like
make if
what?
you're
Like
looking
what?
for.
Like what?
So, like a guy will come in and they'll be like, I really want a boyfriend. I'm like, amazing. So, like, are you,
Amazing.
dude, that's great. That's what a noble cause. So, how do you how do you look for guys? And they're like, oh, mostly on Grindr. And I'm like, okay, I'm not saying it's impossible, but like, have you ever asked someone out? And they're like, no, I'm like too afraid. I could never do that. I'm like, all right, we're going to have to take some risks here if you want to meet somebody, and you're going to have to like pivot, right? Like you're not, the only iron in the fire can't be Grindr or Horse Meat Disco. Like you're really going to have
Right.
to
You gotta go to
step
WeWork.
outside. Yeah, you gotta go to WeWork. I can't stress this enough. You gotta go to WeWork.
I actually
Yeah,
keep hearing of gay couples that met on Grindr lately.
really?
I just read about one. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, can I tell you something? I don't know if this is going to get people mad at me. I don't like a wedding article.
Me neither.
Agreed.
It
Wait, I
feels
feel
strong. It
When I
feels
see a wedding article,
Right,
I'm like,
I
it must
feel
be
like
a slow news day. It must be a
Hey, but
slow news day. Two randos got hitched. Okay, what's going
wait,
on?
I feel like that's the new I feel like that's like the new milestone. It feels like there's a pressure now to have your wedding in Vogue or something, or
Yeah.
in like the New York Times, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's very
wait,
like Sex
why?
in the City 90s, like
Yes.
It's like,
Trey's mother bunny.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
the times. I'm like, okay,
I know.
Charlotte. Okay,
Yeah,
Charlotte.
Charlotte, relax. Yeah. And I'm also like, wait, how is everyone getting their wedding in an article? Like,
I know.
everyone knows the editor of Vogue. Like, what?
It's
It's
just
really
people like
confusing
have
to me.
publicists. It's embarrassing.
Not for their
Oh
wedding. I can't.
No, just like as a person, like I don't know. I will never till the day I die have a publicist. I'll tell you that much.
What? Aren't they so expensive? Why
There
does
are
what?
wedding vendor publicists, says our producer. That's really, really
No
scary. Really
way.
sad.
I mean, girls got to eat, I guess, right? Like pay
But
the bills.
you don't get paid for that. People, it's just
Oh,
no way. You just get the post, and you get
well, I mean the wedding vendor publicist.
Oh,
That's like
sure.
that's such a niche
No, they
job.
represent the photographer or the planner.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Okay, in that case,
Okay. Go off.
that explains something. So it's like, I'm a wedding planner. I want my wedding in Vogue. That makes, yeah, if you're a wedding planner, of course you want
Of
your wedding in Vogue. But
course.
if you're
Yeah.
the one getting married, it's like, keep a little
It's like
something to
maybe enjoy the
yourself.
day. Maybe consider enjoying the day. I don't know.
I know, they don't make
Yeah.
it easy. Anyways,
And then you
we're
have
going
to
to be in
like be
uproar over
interviewed.
this, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
No, we love. I
I
mean,
really
everyone's
appreciate
allowed to
No,
do whatever they want.
and of course
It's
we love
fine.
that. We love wedding articles.
And we love
What you guys
articles.
believe is what we
Articles
believe,
are
and
great.
shout out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Omar, I wanted to ask you, we're kind of, as we ease our way into who are you now, how did you become a therapist and when did you decide that was your calling?
Since I was 5, I've known I wanted to be a therapist.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow,
It's
that was a big
really
year.
bizarre.
That
Big
was a big
year
year
for
for
you.
you.
I know, a
Big-
banner year. I'm a gay therapist. Download,
my
you
first-
should download.
That was my calling to be a gay therapist. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I have no idea where I got that idea from. It's not like I remember watching a TV show or
Sopranos.
a movie.
You watched The
That's
Sopranos.
what the Sopranos. I was like, you wanted to be Dr. Melfi. Dr. Melfi wanted you to be her.
Do you think? Okay, wait. I actually have a roundtable question. It's like,
Ooh.
Totally. And the table's a triangle, but we're gonna ease on those edges and make it a circle.
could the late James Gandolfini have gotten it for you?
Oh, he could rail
No.
me in half.
Absolutely not.
He couldn't get it from me.
He
could
could
get it.
rail me in half. He could rail me into tiny billion little pieces. He could bounce me up and down till I snap. If that answered your question.
Next.
Yeah. Next.
Any questions?
Get me on the next bus. I'm ready for the next one. Choo choo, honk honk. I'm on the next bus.
I always forget he passed.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
He did pass.
When you said the late, and I was like, oh,
The
right.
late great.
Yeah.
He's such
Yeah.
I know, it's such his loss.
There's a woman on Real Housewives of New Jersey right now who had sex with him, and she talks about it all the time.
Fondly.
How could you not?
Yeah,
How
she
could
was
you
like,
not?
she's like, I had sex with James Gandolfini, and like, face it, I did. Like, I
I've
did.
never had
Face
sex with
it.
anyone famous. Face it. That means you know what? It's because I have to be the famous one.
Oh, right. Rockin' a star, right?
I'm trying.
Yeah.
More like
yeah.
rocking a hard place.
Am I right?
Yeah, go. Okay, so you're 5 years old. You say, I want to be Dr.
Oh, yeah.
Melfi.
I want to be Dr. Melfi. I do not want to have sex with James Gandolfini,
Uh-huh.
but I do want to be a therapist. And my entire like academic career, since I could like take psych classes, has all been leading up to being a therapist. And like looking back on it now, obviously it's like, oh yeah, obviously this like little gay boy who's like afraid of himself wants to like understand how the human psyche works and all of that as like a way of understanding myself. So, but at the time I was just like the kid that everyone would always like tell their secrets to and ask for advice. And I was like a pretty good vault. I was like, I will take this to the grave.
So you're
Like,
saying
don't you worry.
today's therapists are yesterday's gossips.
Exactly. Secret keepers.
Oh, you prefer the-
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and it was like a one-track mind. That's like all I've ever wanted to do. Well, obviously, as a kid, I also wanted to be like on America's Next Top Model one day. I
Sure,
thought that
and,
would
and
have
you,
been really
Yeah.
cool.
in your
Yeah.
40s, okay,
So-
you guys can say it's gorgeous, so get over it.
Especially when they went, because they have gone co-ed. They have
yeah,
gone co-ed.
yeah, but I feel like I missed the boat. That's like then I
No,
aged out.
no,
I
that
aged
yeah, with that
out.
attitude, you did miss the boat.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
what you're gonna think about it. Let's reframe your
Thank
mindset.
you.
Who's a therapist now?
Thank you. Thank you.
When you're doing therapy at someone, and are you
Uh-huh.
ever like, when they're talking, are you ever like, oh, I don't know like what to say back, or do you ever like, I'm like, oh my god, I like haven't been listening by accident?
I am usually like, oh my god, what I want to say like is not going to be helpful. I'm always like
Oh.
so scared of. I'm constantly asking myself like, was that good therapy after a therapy
Oh, that's
session?
so nice.
And then I'm very regularly like, am I a good therapist? So I'm always asking questions like that, and then in the session, I'm like, is this helpful? Am I like helping them? So it's usually that.
Do you know Orna?
Meaning like, oh God, I wish. I love that show so much. There
So
is no
good.
greater high for a therapist when someone like Orna does something and you're like, I did that once too.
Yes,
Wow.
I bet.
It is, oh God, it is
Can
like
I ask,
so good.
which of her moves did you say game recognizes game?
Yeah.
When she goes, and how did that land for you?
Oh,
And I'm like, yeah,
how did
I've
that
said that.
land?
How did
Oh,
it
yeah.
land? Meaning like what they are telling they're telling her something that happened, and she's asking how it
Yes.
landed.
And she's like assessing like how they are experiencing it, and it's like very intentional. She's not saying how does that feel, right? She's asking how did that land for you, which like expands the
Yeah.
conversation not just include feelings, but to also
Mm,
include like physiological reactions.
mm.
So stuff like that I really like. I also like how she will like clock you, like she will like interrupt you and say like, whoa, 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 you are like, you're out of line, like you're getting out
Yeah.
of hand here, like you need to chill out. So I really appreciate that. So that like stuff like that, I'm like, oh yeah, we're on the same
Oh,
page.
yeah. Can I ask you, what kind of therapist are you?
So I'm kind of like I would say like a general practitioner, kinda. I don't specialize in like one modality, but I'm mostly psychodynamic and like
And what is
gush.
that, of course?
That is like childhood, what happened in
Oh,
your
that's what they all love. It's so
We love.
Yeah.
I really
annoying.
can't get enough of that stuff. I know. I'm
You
so
guys can't see how
sorry.
hard my eyes are rolling.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you think about somatic? Should I do
How
somatic?
about that? This is my version of every therapist. Why do you hate your parents? I don't. You do. You do. You hate them.
That is so. I want to apologize
this.
to all therapists because some of us we are like a dog with a bone about our parents, and I just want you to know, Catherine, that since hearing you say that, when a client is like, "Oh no, like my relationship with them is totally chill," I'm like, "Great,
Oh,
okay."
Yeah.
Then we don't. Then
so I
you know what?
informed your
Then all we have to explore is how wonderful that relationship was,
And why you're fucking acting this way still.
and why you're so, yeah. Oh, so I can't blame your
Why are
parents.
you
So,
being villain still?
so why are you terrible? Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
exactly.
Hey, Catherine,
Yeah.
Catherine, you've seen this part, right? You hate me, Lisa. You're not important enough to hate. Sit down.
Obviously.
Where is
Obvi-
that from?
Vanderpump Rules, which I am now watching from the beginning again.
Oh, rewatch.
Yeah. I'm at the part right now where Sheena hurts her tooth, but it's extra. But she's supposed to be a singer, so like, how can she make that work?
I'm
as
so
someone
glad
who
you're
hurt her
rewatching because
tooth?
now we can really be pulling from the same reference pool.
It's just so good. Like
It is so difficult. Just, I mean, not to be that. So I don't think there's anything. I'm not like virtue signaling here. I have such a difficult time getting into like Housewives or Vanderpump Rules. I'm like, wait, is everyone in on the joke or not? Like, is this like, are we all like winking? Like, yeah, it's reality, wink, wink. Like,
no, but in early
or
seasons, it's real as fuck. In early
Is-
seasons
okay.
of Pump, it's like these are these kids' lives.
Gotcha. Because sometimes it's so obviously produced that I'm like, this is taking me out. Like, there's no way that you're going on vacation with this person. You hate them. You tried to kill them last night.
Right.
And now you're like, let's go to Bermuda. And I'm like, no, that
Yeah.
can't be what's really, and that takes me out.
Right,
and I can't enjoy it.
But you have to enjoy it from the level of like, okay, well, this is a human being who's like being asked to produce a reality show with this woman they hate but also don't truly know, but like they
I
know that
love
there's a
Lisa.
camera there and they're like, how do I behave? Yeah.
Interesting. You're like Andy Cohen, Pat.
No,
You're the
I'm
Andy
nothing
Cohen.
like Andy Kahan.
Okay, gotcha.
Let me ask you
Well
this,
put.
Omar.
Yeah.
What program do you go to become psychodynamic?
So my credentials are LCSW, licensed clinical social
Love
worker.
work. By the way, work and
And
slay.
work and slay, go off diva. And in your graduate program, you're allowed to like focus on what kind of modality you want to do. Although at the time, CBT was like the thing.
Everyone was addicted.
Everyone
CBT.
loves
I
CBT,
know.
and that's mostly because insurance companies funded the research for CBT, and because it was time sensitive. So it's like, here's an intervention that you could do for 3 months, and that's that. And so insurance companies loved that because it's like, oh, great, we only have to pay for 3 months worth of therapy. So
Everything's
they
about
pushed
money.
CBT. Yeah, exactly. So so I was heavily trained in that. And I think, I mean, there's some usefulness to it for sure, like reframing and all that good stuff. But that was like everyone was told like you have to be CBT certified and the specialist and blah, 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 blah. But psychodynamic I found really interesting because of my own childhood and making those connections between like early relationships and experiences. And now I found really, really enlightening and illuminating. So it always feels really good when a client says something and I'm like, oh, it's like that time when you were 5 and
Right.
that happened. And they're like, oh shit, right. And helping
5
clients. Yeah,
That's when you were 5 and you
it's a big
you
year
were a
for
gay therapist.
everyone. Yeah, right. And it's really lovely to see a client recognize that something is more historical than they realize. They'll come in thinking, whoa, why is this happening? This feels so dysfunctional. And when I draw a line between the thing that's dysfunctional and where they learned it early on, they're like, oh, this is conditioning. It's like, this is something that I conditioned myself to do, or a way I conditioned myself to react to certain situations. And that's really helpful because then I'm like, so if you can condition yourself to behave this way, the inverse is also true. You can condition yourself not to. I don't want.
So are you saying that if it's hysterical, it's historical?
Bingo.
You just unlocked a sense memory for me because I just remembered. Have I told this in the pod that on my Princeton application they ask you what your favorite word is, and I said diva.
No.
Ahead of her time.
Age
Whoa.
17, coming in with DIVA, and me like giggling to myself. Anyway, shout out.
Now, Catherine, I've heard you mention before that about your like therapy journey.
I can't wait for this.
It's felt like fraud. You've been like, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's working.
Yes, I have had to switch modalities a few times, and now
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Now I'm seeing a healer who's more spiritual, and
Okay.
but it feels like therapy, so that's been really good for me. But I think it's just about mixing it up when it's not working. Do you agree?
Yeah.
How long
absolutely.
do you think you should stay with one therapist?
Such a good question. It really depends on like where. A few things. Like
I do think you get to a place with each time where you're like, whether it's 6 months or a year, you get to a place where it's like okay, well, I've told this person like enough stuff, like still,
Are we done here?
And it does start to feel like it's just a weekly check-in where it's like, yeah, this happened this time. I really serialize where I always have one central storyline that I'm just like, okay, and then this happened, and then whatever, and that's the main storyline. And then if we get through the A story like with enough time left, then I'm like, okay, what else can I like say to you? You know what I mean? I'm like, and then I leave. I'm like, was that helpful? You know what I mean? I don't understand.
Right. I'm a big fan of taking breaks. I would do that. Like I'll go to therapy for like a year or two and then take like 2 years off and then go back and forth. And my first therapist was a therapist that saw therapists who
Love.
was
Oh,
recommended to me.
Like the
interesting.
woman in the
Like
Berkshires.
yes, like Orna's therapist.
Exactly like Orna's. Yep. Exactly.
I don't know why, but I'm like, that
So-
girl's in the Berkshires. She's very.
I want to be.
Oh, for
I want to
sure.
be in Orna's like focus group of other therapists.
Oh, you have no idea how bad. I will weasel my way
You
into
could
that
be in
focus
that.
group.
You do couple?
I do. Yeah.
Cool.
I limit how many couple slots I do because it's a lot of work. And just like emotionally taxing and draining. So I'll see like 2 couples at a time. That's like
Wow.
that's like the most my bandwidth can do.
Do you think
So
people were
when
designed to live 2 by 2 or no?
I think people are resigned to just like do whatever makes you happy. I think the second we start to ask ourselves what are we supposed to do,
Mm.
or like what should we do, I think that's when we run into trouble instead of exploring like what is taking shape in front of me. And if that's like 2 by 2, then great. If it's outside of that, then great. But I don't think we're resigned to do much of anything beyond be curious and constantly ask questions and constantly wonder, like, what am I supposed to do?
Oh, that's so.
I think that's like the only constant in life is that we're always asking questions. And there's just like so few answers. There's like no like end game here, but we treat everything like it is. And so we get caught in this like cycle of what am I supposed to do instead of just wondering like, where am I headed?
It's giving
Yeah.
Rilke. It's giving Rilke. Love the questions. Love the question.
Wait, what's Roca?
Rilke, the German poet.
Oh,
Duh.
I'll send you some
I
things.
said, oh.
I'll send you some materials. But you were saying, what were you saying before that? Taking
taking a break.
Do you think
Yes.
people graduate from therapy?
yeah.
That's not necessarily forever, but that's how I
That's cool.
and that's
might
what
wanna
I say.
subscribe.
I'll say like, I think it's time for you to graduate. I think like you can graduate from therapy and
Yeah.
take a break and go like live your life without me for a while and
Yeah.
see what that's like, and just like apply everything that we've learned and all of that stuff. Because some clients can get in the habit of waiting until our session to make decisions.
Hmm.
And I have to be like, I want you to make decisions first, then we can process them. And then eventually I'm like, now you're going to have to just like live your life and see how that is without me as like the part of the support network.
And can I ask if you're allowed to answer this? Like,
Yeah.
what is the most common thing people come to you with, or the most thing that people are that like just to make us feel less alone? What's like the big issue that
Yeah.
everyone's like, I'm feeling this?
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm feeling it.
I had McDonald's in Florence, Italy, and it was
Oh.
absolutely
How was it?
unbelievable, of course.
I love going to McDonald's in different countries just to
everything.
see. I don't know. I like
They're
it.
doing amazing work. Anyways,
That's in
what's
this
the human
season.
condition?
The pilot of Girls has this monologue from Ray where he's like,
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
it's incredible. You go into it, McDonald's in Tokyo, it's the same product. So you should be like,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's so
Girls.
good.
Shout out to Girls. That was great.
Always shout.
Human condition. So 2 things. One, everyone just wants to know that they're normal. Like on everyone, one of the most commone questions I get asked is like, is this okay? And I'm like, you're fine. Trust me. Everyone is just winging it. Everyone's just winging it.
And why are some people so fucking annoying?
That's up for a different therapist. I don't know. That's above my pay grade.
Do you think it's good to always talk about something? Or do you think sometimes it's like, well, I just keep talking about this is actually making it worse?
Yeah, so I have to keep an eye on that because if I notice someone like riling themselves up, then it's like actually, I think we need to talk about this less.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're like in this like self-obsessed mindset, and it's just like obsessive and compulsive, and and then talking about it in that instance, talking about it less, of course, is helpful. But then there's some folks where it's like pulling teeth, and I'm like, we need to talk about this more.
Interesting.
Let's go. But everyone just wants to know that they're normal, that they're okay. Everyone right now is dealing with existential dread. Everyone just feels like nothing feels all that great.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that is serving as the backdrop for everything that we're doing. So like, you know, be kind to yourself, because if you're going out on a date, you're trying to meet people, but also remember everyone's feeling kind of crappy right now.
Right.
Everyone's feeling kind of like
Why? Because of the
scared.
I'm like, why? Because of the strikes.
because the writer strike.
There's just this like sense of dread that like low key and undercurrent of dread that a lot of folks are trying to reckon with.
Do you think
right
that
now.
will stop?
And, I'm hopeful.
Do you think it's
Okay.
because of the moon and stuff?
It's because the
I think-
pandemic.
I think aftermath of pandemic. I think geopolitically.
Yeah.
I think just like everything feels so unstable because we're seeing how unstable these systems actually are.
Mm.
And so the things that we were told are safe and stable and are secure and will protect us, we're seeing them
Oh.
like fumble and crack. And so now we're like, wait, so I was never safe.
So
Yeah.
real.
Right. And so we're like trying to understand. So now what do I do? Right. So
Do you notice different things that like, well, what's your age? Do you have a wide age range of clients?
yeah, I think my youngest is 22,
Wow.
21.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so do you notice trends of like people feeling similar ways at different points of their lives?
Yeah. So,
And
early-
and as someone who listens to this podcast and knows me, am I normal for 35?
oh my God, you are so normal for 35. You're painfully.
I
normal
was
for
just gonna ask.
35.
I was like, in your professional opinion, like, are we okay?
Yeah, y'all are so okay, and I hope you guys give yourselves enough credit
We
because
don't.
the way
Don't worry, we
Back here,
don't.
we don't. The way the two of you have talked about mental health stuff on this podcast has like made my job easier. I
Oh,
have
amazing.
clients that listen to this.
Oh, really?
The way yeah.
Oh,
So,
maybe that's crazy. So is it bad that they'll hear you now?
we'll have to process it.
Yeah.
I can see some of my clients being like, I'm not listening. I don't want to
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
other
If
clients
you're
and other
Omar's
clients
client
being like,
listening right now, seek treatment, not from Omar, from someone else.
for someone else for once. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the way that two of you have like normalized like medication and like changing therapists and like feeling like it's not working or feeling like you're not getting what you want from it is so crucial. I think a lot of folks tend to believe that you start therapy and it's just like this upward trend
Right.
only. And that's just like mostly not the case. It's usually like pretty tedious and difficult, and you have to like give it time before you can look back and realize like, oh, I've actually come a long way. But when you're in it, it's so hard to recognize that.
Well, I've never had a breakthrough in my life, by the way. And people are always like being like, I had a breakthrough today. I'm like, what could that possibly feel like?
Well, I feel like you're already so self-reflective, Pat. You're like pretty. There are instances where you've like touched on something or shared an experience, and I'm like, whoa, what an acute, like such a specific way you talk about life things.
But then
that I'm
why
like,
isn't
well,
it
that takes
helpful?
someone. What? Yeah, that's.
Helpful to me.
Well, you are in a really way better place than you were like 5 years ago.
That's true.
Yeah. And I think it's about trusting that, right? And like leaning into almost like doing the opposite of what you used to do and committing to that and leaning into that. That's like a lot of what I've done with my dating, especially, where I was like, oh, I have to do the opposite of what I used to do.
And so
Because that wasn't working.
I used to not go to WeWork network events. So the
Exactly.
the opposite would be to go to one.
So just like trusting that the things that feel good are good, and letting that be is like, that's really all that you can do in the meantime.
Speaking of be, who do you want to be?
Oh my gosh. I would love to be like a well-respected therapist in the field. Like I would love for other therapists.
That's
Check.
good.
I would love like to be regarded as well as like Orna or Esther Perel, like the therapist's therapist.
You want to make
That'd be so great.
You want to make card games about how to have conversations.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you want to
And
write a book?
I don't think I could. I
Not with
wouldn't know
that
what to write
attitude.
about.
Yeah.
I'm like really trying to figure out what else I want to do besides the practice. Like, do
Mm.
I want to start my own podcast?
Yeah.
Do I want to start writing? And I'm trying to just like let that sit and simmer for a while instead of constantly like, I have to reach this goal or I need to like check off this like thing on my to-do list and just like chill out for a little while.
Do you want the other K, meaning kids, not ketamine?
And do you believe in ketamine therapy?
And do I mean yes?
Really?
Yeah, it's not. It hasn't proven to be super helpful long term. It's like one of those things where it's like you have to do it in conjunction with therapy. So it's like
It's like diet and exercise. Am I right, ladies?
right. Yeah, exactly. But kids, Mike and I are open to it. If we were to have kids, we would adopt.
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
both like very
love.
much on the same page, and we would both want to adopt an older kid, like
So
8, 9,
sweet.
Yeah.
10. But we also love not having kids.
You love being
so
dinged.
yeah. So
And you said to me the other day, which was so interesting, that you feel that Mike needs to pop.
the
Okay.
pop.
The P, the
The
Q.
Q.
Oh yeah, and he knows that. He
knows
is
that.
popping the question. Yeah. He knows he's got to pop the question. Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like I don't know. I like his pace of things. So
Yeah.
I kind of like trust his pace. So I'm almost like, oh, if he feels like it's time, it probably is time.
Oh, cute.
Right.
Yeah, I just like trust him that way.
That's
Yeah.
so beautiful.
And then it allows me to like think about other things. I'm like, oh yeah, he'll take us there when it's time to go.
Wait,
there.
how long was it between the first round and the second round?
A few years. Like
Wow,
3
that's
years?
so
Is that what it
long.
is?
That's so
Yeah.
formative. That's so novel-esque.
Yeah.
We definitely came back the same but different for sure. Yeah, like a lot of the
Wow.
same core things, but like definitely like 3 years of therapy with that like an extra 3 years of therapy mentality, which I could like feel.
Do you
between us.
think the more things change, the more they stay the same? And are you guys all about that bass? No trouble.
Yes. What is that? I actually never really knew what that meant. The more things change, the more they stay the same. I'm always like, what?
It means that like no matter what
It's like the same.
goes
It's like,
on in the crazy world at the end of the day, like
yeah. Is it same shit, different day? Is it that?
It's
Is
kind of that.
It's kind of that.
kind of
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's
Yeah.
kind of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys
So
feel hot today?
Yes.
No,
Oh,
like, I
love. I have my natural hair on, which I never do.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I felt hot yesterday, but we didn't record an episode, so I couldn't document
Doesn't
it.
count. Doesn't count.
I don't feel hot today, but I did just like, it's 11:13 for me. I woke up at 8, which is great. That's like a long sleep for me, which is good. But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like truly like I forgot about working Monday through Friday, and like I forgot how it feels like, and I'm like, and now it's Sunday, so it's like how am I meant to feel hot? And I'm still firmly sitting at 111. Pretty sure I'm not going to get anything until tomorrow. So it's like
Really? The day's so young.
what are you
for
going to do in the meantime?
focus on myself and my work.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't feel hot today, but I looked so hot like 6 days ago. It was insane.
Wait, did you look so Julia?
Julia. I looked
Wait,
so
what are you
Julia.
doing in London? Are you performing?
Exactly. That's kind of why I'm here. And I also went to a wedding in Ireland, and then I went on vacation in Italy.
Oh, wait, whose wedding in Ireland was that?
Brian's college friend.
Oh, because yeah, it was so interesting to see the crew of people there.
Yeah, it was such a beautiful wedding.
How is
all W's of L.
Totally.
Walks of life? How has it been there in London? How have you been feeling?
Great. Well, I just got to London like 3 hours ago.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Because I was in Venice, which was gorgeous. And I'm so excited 'cause after this, I'm going to order some Indian food and just like watch Vanderpump, and it's going to be fucking electric.
Oh, and I've been meaning to tell you, Catherine. Every once in a while, I'll see Brian at the gym, and I always want to be like,
Really?
Oh my god.
rarely, not often.
The
It's
bling?
maybe Equinox.
Oh, he
Catherine,
quit. He quit.
That's why I haven't seen him in a while. Okay,
I was like,
yeah, and I would be like, oh, I want to.
oh my god, you should have. He would have
I'm not
loved
gonna.
that. He
I'm
would have
not
loved that.
gonna. I'm not gonna be like, you're Catherine Cohen's
He
boyfriend.
would love that. He's being so cute lately.
Aw, how are you guys doing? You feeling
We're
good?
actually doing really good. Yeah.
That's nice to hear.
No, I'm actually
Have
like
you guys
happy
ever
right
done?
now. We did
That's
one
wonderful.
session of couples once when I was going through something really difficult.
Yeah.
With like my current therapist at the time. She was like, we can do a
Yeah.
session together if you want, which was great.
Okay.
And we would love to do more in the future. I think it'd be good, especially if we decide to go towards Ding Dong, Las Culturistas, wedding goals, marriage.
Oh, and technically, Catherine, you were also at the Culture Awards because you had a little video segment.
How was I in the video?
Espresso, hysterical and beautiful. You
Thank
looked great.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
and I want it on record that I was asked to do a video but forgot, and so that's cool of me.
That's punk rock. That's
Leave it in the visual.
Stop.
I always tell couples to start couples therapy before there are issues, like before there are major issues.
Yeah.
Because usually when couples come in to see me, there's so much resentment that's been built up over like years that I have to like hack away with a machete before we can like get to the actual like skills building of how to talk to each other. So
Well,
the earlier the better.
We're definitely getting machete ready over here.
Hell yeah.
I have a question. I actually have a question about couples therapy as a therapist. Is it ever
Let's
like
hear it.
if I was a couples therapist, obviously like 9 times out of 10, when they would come in, I would be like, well, that one's cooler. Like they should probably break up and date someone else. Cool.
Yeah. How
your problem is,
often do they break up?
like, okay, so I think one of your guys' issues is you're cool and you're not. So like,
one of you thinks so, Julia, and the other one's literally not at all.
The way I would maybe phrase that clinically is, I think there's a compatibility issue here.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of you're cool, you're not cool,
One of you
which I don't think would go
hang.
over well. Yeah, yeah. So that's usually how. Yeah, I like to discuss that.
It's so interesting when it always happens. I think especially in straight culture where it's like a cool person will date someone who isn't cool, and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
It really is like that so much.
it is like that.
You and Brian don't seem like that.
It is
You
not
both
like
seem
that.
like pretty. That must be so like great. Are you like that? Do other couples and friends look at you and Brian and are like, oh, like I want that. Like you guys look so strong and happy.
I do think so. Yeah, I do think
Good.
that. I know. I'm really
That feels
lucky.
nice.
I'm kind of nightmarish, and he's actually kind of major.
That's how I am. Yeah, I'm kind of nightmarish.
I don't believe that person.
No, you're definitely not.
Don't lie to us. Don't
Don't
lie
lie.
to
Don't come on our
us.
podcast live.
Don't be like that, love.
So, that's really nice to hear. So, how long will you be in London for?
I think I'm gonna. Oh, it smells so good. Someone's barbecuing outside. I thought it was. Oh my god, it smells so good. I'm so hungry. I will be abroad until September.
Whoa.
I know. I just feel more at peace here. Is that such a bad thing? Sorry, my
Who's
phone
gonna
thing
do
stopped. I got to make
club
sure it's still
coming?
going. I
I know.
Who's gonna
know.
be doing
I miss it while I'm away. I'll have to do it when I'm back.
I can't wait
Yeah.
till we could do more in person.
I know. I really. I
One
wish
day
I
we
was in
will.
LA. There was a part of me that was like, "Oh, but you're in London, so no."
Yeah.
No, I know. It's
Maybe-
kind of like we're doing this impossible thing right now where we're working opposite hours and we're on opposite sides of the world, and it's a miracle that we're all here today. So
Yeah.
Oh, we're all in different. Oh, that's so cool. We're all in
Yeah.
like different time zones right now.
God bless
That's
us, everyone.
kind of beautiful.
It's so stunning. I was gonna say, do you guys have a crush of the week?
I have a
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, Omar, what's yours?
I have 2 crushes of the week. Their names are Patrick
No.
Regan and
No,
Catherine
Omar,
Cohen.
that's not allowed. That's not
not
You 2 are absolutely my crushes of the
That's
week.
so
It is
sweet.
that like y'all are just so yeah. You're again just so lovely and smart and funny and charming and
Well, the feeling's
I
mutual.
just like love watching and listening to everything that you guys do.
That's
Yeah.
so
Thank you
sweet.
so much.
My crush of the week, one of them is just this lyric that is now in my head from earlier in the podcast, where it's but it's a different song. It's we both had a crush on Regina George. Wait, what's the tune again? Can you do it as the tune?
I
Catherine?
actually can't tell you.
Ah.
I
But
don't
you know
know.
that it's Naked in Manhattan. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Now
We
I know.
both
Okay.
had a crush on Regina
Yeah.
George.
Um.
Okay, that's one. And my other crushes of the week are two.
Both have a crush on Regina. You're pretty good.
Yeah, but it's like the
George, I think you
Regina
said.
George. It gets the George. You're like,
What's
wait,
the
what?
lyric right before that?
It's like I don't know. It's like about watching Mean Girls.
That's such a good song. Naked, let's make it cinematic like that
No.
one. Scene that's in Mulholland Drive. I wanna know, baby, what is it?
But you don't know what's the one right now is my 112 right now from that album is My Kink is Karma.
So good.
So good.
You know what
that is
my
a
It's hard when you're getting kicked out and it's hard.
you know what my obsession right now, of course, is heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. I promise you won't ever She's so major.
My crushes. One is the lyric. We both had a crush on Regina George, and the other is the straight boys of Eric Grayhill and Nate Verone, who I had just to have a lunch with two straight boys.
I would love to be there. That sounds wonderful.
And have it be orgasmic. It's crazy.
That's you were it's like Eiffel.
Yes,
Tower, right?
Eiffel lunch.
Eiffel.
I was Eiffel lunch. I was
You had an Eiffel lunch. My crush is oh my god. I have to shout out the amazing group of siblings who recognized me in Tuscany.
How many siblings are we talking?
I know. The craziest thing is they were 4 siblings. So shout out. I love you guys. You're gorgeous. We had the most incredible pizza of my life. And that was rock and roll. And also my other crushes, of course, the moment of pop that we're in, because we're living in such a beautiful moment of pop music.
Which is we need it. We need this right now.
We need it
more
so
than
bad
ever.
because I heard from a therapist friend that everyone's disillusioned right now.
Yeah.
We both have a crush on Regina George. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Is that from the Mean Girls movie?
No, it's from
Chapel.
Oh, Chapel.
Mrs.
Yeah,
Chapel.
she's huge.
Mrs.
Okay.
Roan, if you're not.
Gotcha.
If you
I
are
love
a
Good Luck,
crack.
Babe. I love Good Luck, Babe. Good luck.
So
babe.
good luck,
That
babe.
one.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
that one.
good.
I took 2 vocal lessons recently, so
Wait, really? That's fun.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
yeah.
Omar.
Yeah, I was like I always tell clients this, like, whenever you're feeling kind of like aimless or listless, just like
Take
do
vocal
the
lessons.
most random thing.
Just
just like
take
do
vocal
a
lessons.
random thing.
That's
Yeah. So
so
I was like,
I
you know
love
what?
that.
I'm gonna take vocal lessons and just like see what comes of that.
That's
And it's been lovely.
amazing. I love
Yeah,
that.
it's also so I didn't think this would happen, but it is so nerve-wracking. And the vocal teacher is so lovely. She's like, this is a very vulnerable experience.
Yeah.
I was just like laughing and sweating so much.
That's so cute.
When we were like doing our ranges and stuff like that and warm-ups.
Oh my God.
It's like really, really scary. So
That's very inspiring.
Scary. Yeah, singing is anyway.
I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, it was it's like really, really fun. I'm liking it a lot.
Oh my
And there's no
God.
like goal. It's not because
Right.
I want to sing, but I want to try something completely out of my comfort zone and see what that's like.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. I do what I can.
Same. Do you guys? Oh wait, are y'all mad at me?
Not at all.
No way.
Are you mad at me?
No way.
Are you mad at me because I wasn't here in the beginning?
Not at all, because you turned it inside out and you came back to life.
Totally. It wasn't a sim tickle moment with y'all.
It was not Simsicle. It was not Simsicle. Omar, thank
Are you guys mad at me?
No, thank
Wait,
you.
no,
so
not
much
at
for
all.
coming
Thank you
on.
so much
This
for
was like,
doing it.
and thank you so much. It's just so nice to talk to someone who is so good at what they do and knows so much that we don't know. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I was worried because I'm not like a comedian, haha, funny at all. All I can bring is like earnestness,
And that's
so
what we
I
need.
hope,
That's what we
I hope
needed
your
today.
listeners are okay with that. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Again, this is such an honor. This is like a highlight of my year.
Oh
I'm
my
so
God, you're
happy.
so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so
guys
much.
make me sad.
And we'll all get together in person soon and get
Yes.
into it.
Seek treatment. If you're boring as fuck, seek treatment. If you're unlucky in love, seek treatment. If you just can't take a hint, well, seek treatment. With Kat and Pat.
That was a Headgum podcast.